Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Wherever you to find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we're in. This is another scene for Unmask Orlando, the vampire venue. This evening's scene is a bit of a interesting one as we travel to the apartment of one Atticus Knight, the child of Adelaide Dubois, the city's primogen of Clan Toreador. And Atticus himself is no slouch as Master of Harpies. This is why he's been given his embrace rights. And he has taken on his lover as his new child. And he has done the work and embraced him. Now, Alexander is waking up.
What time is it?
About 3.
In the morning?
Yes, in the morning.
Is it? What happened?
You don't remember?
I remember coming back here and us getting into bed, and then I mean, just the feeling. But and now I'm here, and everything is just foggy, I guess.
Imagine you're a little hungry, huh?
Yeah, like really hungry.
Atticus will reach over into the bedside table and pull out a knife.
What are you?
And he will go ahead and open up a vein on his wrist and extend his arm.
What I?
That smell is like nothing you've ever smelled before.
Well, I suppose that the only thing to do would be to go for it, as this is a hunger that I don't know if he's ever felt before in this way. So,
No, probably not.
so I'm gonna go ahead and just go for it. Just start drinking.
He will let him drink until he's got a good half his blood points before he kind of pulls his hand back.
Okay. What was that? What?
Suppose I should explain. I did before we did this, but seems you don't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm sorry. Last night I was a little. It
It's
got
alright.
things got out of hand. I mean, you know how a night out on the town leading back to this usually goes for us.
Exactly. I'm, I guess, what a mortal would call a vampire.
What?
He will,
You're
at that point, let his fangs extend.
uh, I,
And he will take his hand and run them over, his own fangs that are now extended.
oh, I, oh my god.
Take a deep breath. You don't need it, but take a deep breath anyway. It can still be calming, even now. Oh my gosh, seriously, little dude?
Oh, so, I,
That's why you only ever saw me at night.
I mean,
Why
yeah,
I was always gone before the sun came up.
I just figured you were one of those lovers who didn't like to stick around for the morning after.
Usually quite the
Oh.
opposite.
So this, I mean, normally I think that if anyone else under any other circumstance tried to tell me such things or something like that, I'd probably call them crazy, but I trust you. For whatever reason, despite, everything we've ever been told about myth, I, strangely enough, believe you.
A lot of the
So,
myths are false.
so, what about like crosses and all that? Do I have to
Um,
wear a cape? Do I
Crosses
sleep in a
are
coffin?
a peculiarity. It takes it being presented by someone who is truly faithful before it will repel us.
So the majority of people with crosses won't
No.
do anything, I would assume,
No.
as I've found much faith is false and
Yes, precisely.
impure.
You don't have to wear a cape. You don't see me wear a cape, do you? Except maybe at insomnia.
No, I mean, anywhere else it's so gauche, but I mean, insomnia. Come on, it's it's commonplace.
Indeed. Depending on what I'm wearing, anyway. If I'm just wearing my
Absolutely.
harness, well,
Who
no need
needs a
for a
cape
cape
with a
then.
harness? Tends to get in the way.
Precisely. But there's a lot that you're going to have to learn over the next little bit.
Yeah, I would.
But that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, I So like, am I dead? What I don't.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
At this point, I'm gonna put my hand over where a heartbeat should be, and
And there is
you
no
know,
heartbeat.
what, but it's not. It's not beating.
Technically, we are dead.
But
Our hearts no longer beat.
but yet here we find ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Some say that it is a curse. Others find it to be a
I
gift. Some find it somewhere in between. I tend to fall into that category.
I was just about to ask what you thought of it, my dear.
I tend to fall somewhere in between. It does mean that I get to enjoy myself for all eternity.
But I
Because if I told you that. Hang on, let me check his age real quick. If I told you I was almost 300 years old, you probably wouldn't believe me.
Oh, darling, you don't look a day over 25.
Oh, I'm well aware.
I just. So this is real. This isn't just some elaborate prank, or it's not. I'm not.
Atticus is going to stand up and move over to a small portion of the wall. If this were a prank, I don't think I'd be able to do this. He reaches out and his fist smashes through the stone wall like it's nothing.
What Well, and I'm gonna get up and move across to where he is and feel the wall just to make sure it's real.
It is solid stone.
I, okay, so that
Don't you
so
try
that
to do that. You are not there yet.
yeah. So
We each
okay,
have
all right.
certain
So
gifts of the blood.
the 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 blood. So what I presume what you just put inside of me.
Yes. We call it vitae.
Okay. All right. So
I would be considered your sire. You've met Adelaide. She is my sire.
yes, Adelaide.
Yes.
Well, I suppose it makes sense. You two seem, for lack of a better phrase, thick as thieves, as it were.
I suppose that would be an accurate turn of phrase.
Oh, the cliche is what is happening to me, Atticus. I, I, okay, so,
He is just going to kind of pull him into an embrace and hug him.
yeah, I would just like to remain there for a while, and I begin to just kind of weep gently but silently, as everything is quite overwhelming.
If he pulls back at all, he would notice that the tears are not normal tears. They are, in fact, tears of blood.
What, what
Calm down. It's okay.
is on my...
Atticus is going to grab a handkerchief off of the nightstand and kind of wipe away the tears.
Oh my god, is that blood or vitae? Is that...
It's blood, yes.
Oh my
Most
god.
of the fluids of your body have been replaced by blood.
Okay, alright. Okay. I guess is the situation considered and what just took place with the arm and the knife. Is do I have to?
You don't have to feed off of me, but you will have to feed.
So so no more
You
rosé.
you might be able to still eat food. I can. You have to purge afterwards, but
Purge. Oh, I mean, not that I'm unfamiliar. I mean, the sorts of people that we
mm,
engage with binging and purging and whatnot, but something. Is it similar?
yes. You will have to
Okay.
empty the contents of your stomach of things that aren't blood before you go to bed. And no, you don't have to sleep in a
Exhilarating.
coffin.
Oh, thank God. I would miss the silk so very much.
Oh yes, I refuse to sleep on anything but silk. You know this.
So, of course not. So, you mentioned not being out in
You
the
can't be out
daytime.
during the day anymore.
So I take it that part of the mythos is true.
We don't instantly combust, but we do burn quite badly.
Well, that's a relief. I was never much one for a good tan. And as you know, I tended to frequent the nightlife much more often than I did the waking hours, I guess. But I guess
Indeed. Now our
I'll have
winter.
to be a little more careful.
Yes, now you'll feel the urge to sleep when the sun rises. I'll have, if you wish to stay with me, that's fine. If not, I can have one of the other clans that are adept in other abilities protect your home from the sun.
Clans.
Yes.
What
Uh,
is that? Ability.
we we are what is called a Toreador, the clan of the
Okay.
Roses.
Seems fitting for you.
We are known for loving beautiful things, embracing artists, musicians.
I wouldn't know anything about being that.
Shut up.
And at this point, Alexander would probably kind of shy back, just given the nature of his personality, especially in regards to just even having it brought up, kind of
Yeah, and
tends to.
Atticus will kind of just reach out and touch his jaw gently. I'm going to have to work on that self-confidence of yours.
Yeah, well, if it's my understanding, we'll have a fair amount of time to do so.
We will have all eternity.
But what about my? I mean, I'm separated from them more or less, but my family. I what
They
what do
will
I do?
think that you're dead. As a general rule, we tend to stage a false death.
I mean, I'm not.
My family has been gone for a very long time.
Well, I would assume so,
I'm
unless they
sure
were
they still have
like.
descendants somewhere, but.
But I mean,
And I am here to
coming.
help with anything and everything you need.
Thank you. I mean, faking a death to 30 some people in a rural town in Ohio probably won't be terribly difficult. As, I mean, you know full well that as much as it pains me to say, I'm not native to here, but as you
You've
well
been here
know,
long
I've
enough.
I've made it my home, more or less. But what about my music, the people? I mean, the
Well, oftentimes they become the most loyal to you, the ones who you feed off of.
feed is that what
It's
it's
a
okay?
vulgar term, I know, but
I mean, it makes sense, but okay. I so my family has to think I'm dead. I have to feed on people, on other humans.
you're not human
Well,
anymore.
you beat me to it.
We tend to refer to ourselves as kindred.
Kindred.
Yes. Vampire is
I
simply
see.
what the humans have taken to calling us.
I see. What the humans have taken to calling us?
Well, we're not entirely human anymore, are we?
No, no, we are not. We are. I don't know. But okay. Okay. So, do I? Well, what? You said I can't do that, and I'll gesture to the wall. But
No, not yet.
yet, okay. So promising.
I will teach you how to do that in time.
What things can I? I mean, what? How much are there bats? Are there mist? Dogs?
Well, there is eventually within other gifts of the blood. Our clan are known for three things. Close your eyes and listen. Listen hard.
Okay, I'm
Basically,
going
he's
to.
teaching you how to activate heightened senses.
Okay, I'm going to follow and just do as he says and close my eyes and just listen.
You can hear music playing downstairs.
They must have that up pretty loud.
That's the downstairs of my apartment, where we were listening to Chopin earlier.
Yes.
It
Oh,
wasn't that loud, if
okay.
you recall.
No, of course not. No, we have more decorum than to disturb neighbors and things like that with loud music. But
That is one gift of our blood. A heightened sense of awareness. You can actually use it for any of your senses. Taste, touch, smell.
oh, that that is intriguing.
I'll have to
I
teach you how to heighten your sense of touch later. It makes the kiss
oh,
all the more pleasurable.
the kiss.
The kiss is what we call the bite, feeding.
I think I much prefer that to feeding.
Yes, the kiss.
So,
Most mortals will lose themselves in the kiss and hardly remember a thing. It's the most intense pleasure you'll ever feel. When you
and
combine
you
it
know,
with a heightened sense of touch.
as an off note, to obviously to you, storyteller,
Yes.
would since so recent, would my embrace be something I would be able to like slowly be like remember like the feeling and
Yes.
sensations and things
Yes.
like that? Okay, as like this, the initial haze is kind of quickly dissipated as kind of stresses have begun to increase. So I feel like I'd probably start to remember and feel. Oh my goodness. You're quite right about that.
Well, you're starting to remember, aren't you?
Bits and pieces, I remember us coming up here, you know, getting into bed and the usual sorts of activities, so to speak. But there is one Singular. There is one moment in particular, that one feeling, much better than anything I've felt before.
And you will feel that every time.
Oh, I know I just ate, but you're making me hungry again.
I could take you to insomnia.
Oh, that does sound interesting.
First, I should
So,
show you some other things.
yeah, I would.
Atticus will use some of his preternatural speed and kind of zip across the room, grab a glass of wine, and come back over.
I. How is another? What was it you said? Gift of the blood?
Gift of the blood. We call that celerity, or the gift of
Celerity.
speed.
Quite beautiful names for things. You seem to have what was the word?
Shall we
Toreador.
Toreador?
It has a nice ring to it. It feels good as it leaves the tongue.
He'll hold out the glass of wine. Shall we test?
Well, the hair of the dog never hurt anyone. And I'm gonna take it and kind of look at it, hesitate for a moment, kind of recalling what he said about purging, but I'm going to take a sip.
And since you have the eat food merit, you don't automatically puke it back up the moment it hits your stomach.
What is the taste like?
It tastes exactly the same as you remember it.
Oh,
You
a
get to
nice.
enjoy every flavor that it had, if even a little more intensely now, thanks to your auspex.
I've never had a red taste so refreshing.
Ah, looks like you figured out how to heighten your other senses then.
I suppose I did. I don't exactly know what I did, but I suppose it comes with the territory, so to speak.
You'll learn over time. Don't worry. And
So you
then
mentioned.
the last thing. He is going to activate awe. He is now
And
the
I
only
just.
thing in the room.
I'm just gonna stare at him. You know, in the moonlight, I didn't think it possible, but somehow you are even more handsome than before.
And that is the final gift that comes naturally to our blood. We can make ourselves the only thing in the room. And give ourselves a presence that is undeniable.
Well,
He'll go ahead and turn it off.
well, we already had quite a bit of that before, but now that I think, now with the new information being presented, I think I might have known why that was. So you mentioned Adelaide.
Yes.
is your what
My
you are
sire.
to me, your sire.
Yes.
Yes. Are there more like
Yes.
us?
Oh, yes, there are plenty more. Our sect, I suppose you would call it, is called the Camarilla.
Again, with the beautiful names, but unfortunately, I haven't the slightest idea what any of them mean.
There are several sects of our kind. Those of us in the Camarilla, 7 pillar clans.
Pillar clans. Well, context clues, I would assume that they're the foundation.
Yes. The Toreador, that's us. The Tremere, sometimes called warlocks.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but warlocks.
They are capable of magics.
Uh, I'm just kind of gonna go. I'm just gonna plop down onto the bed and just kind of like finger, like hands on my temples, and I'm just like,
That's a lot to take in, I know.
magics. Okay. They, for fear of my brain turning to complete mush, please continue. We can do specifics later.
Yes, indeed.
I realize I'm quickly going to overwhelm myself if everything is has a question attached to it.
But yes, the Tremere are often called the warlocks, or grey faces.
Hmm.
I'm not sure why they had that nickname, but
Well,
and then there are the Ventru, the Blue Bloods.
oh, the blue bloods.
Yes, each and every one of them has a stick jammed so far up their ass. It's hilarious that they don't taste it.
Atticus, how crass of you.
I can't eat every now and
Although,
then.
although we both know that I am very much the same way.
Yes. The Ventru, the Bruja, often called the Rabble.
The rabble.
They are activists and too stubborn for their own good sometimes. They're rebels.
Rebels against
The Camarilla.
who? Which is us.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're one of the pillar clans,
They
then
used to be.
used. Ooh, okay.
They they fell during the Anarch Revolt. The first
The,
one.
okay.
Now they would be what's considered a low clan. Or, well, what would have back then been considered a low clan. We don't do high and low clans anymore.
I see.
Oh, it's fine. You're okay. Here. Take, you don't want a baba? No? Okay. And then you have the gangrel, often called the beasts. When you asked about bats and things like that, They are capable of changing into animals, beasts. Most of them tend to be more feral than the rest of us.
How unfortunate.
In fact, most of the time they leave their childer in the middle of the woods and come back for them, or don't. It's a
Well, and
ill-begat
I'm going
practice.
I'm going to reach out and just kind of squeeze his hand and be like, "Thank you for not leaving me in the woods in this outfit."
Never, my dear.
Well, I suppose that outfit, and I'll gesture over to the floor.
Yes. Then you have the Malkavians, the madmen. Sometimes called the Broken Mirror.
The broken mirror.
All of them have some form of madness.
Oh. So, Kindred life may be similar to downtown Orlando nightlife. More similar, in fact, than I thought.
Indeed. In fact, you've probably
Did I?
met many of them at Insomnia.
I do so love insomnia.
Ah, yes. Mother Dearest is quite fond of it herself. After all, she does own it.
Mother dear. So, would that.
You don't have to call me. No, please don't. Adelaide likes it, but I don't.
So then, what should I call her?
Well, because of our clan, you will call her Primogen. She is
Primogen.
the leader of our clan in this city.
So I just address her when I speak to her. Address her as Primogen.
Yes. We come from a distinguished bloodline.
Distinguished.
Adelaide's grandsire is the Prince of Paris.
But
Okay.
there's no monarchy in Paris. Or is that? Am I getting
That is
ahead
a
of myself? Is there a? Yep. Okay,
kindred
I see.
thing. Our prince in this city is Tremere, Prince Michael Darien.
The warlocks.
Yes. There is one more clan. And that is the Nosferatu.
Oh, like the movie, like the silent film.
Mm.
Oh, he was such an ugly bastard, wasn't he?
If we are the clan of roses and beauty, well, they are our foil. None of them are blessed with any type of beauty. They are
So
walking
they just.
breaches of the masquerade. I suppose
So
I should explain the masquerade, shouldn't I?
all I understand of it is from Phantom of the Opera, but
The masquerade
and
is what keeps us safe. We try to act as human as possible to blend in.
why I didn't know what you were until
Yes,
tonight.
Why you had no idea what I
Well,
was until this evening.
you've clearly done a very good job of upholding it, considering we've been seeing each other for, oh, how long? Uh, who can
Almost a year
tell?
now.
Yes, it is. Hmm. Well, I suppose you could call this an early anniversary gift, depending on how you look at it.
Indeed. But yes, the masquerade is why we remain safe. There was a time when the masquerade didn't exist. And in that time, many of our kind died. Met their final death, as we call it.
Okay, so we can die, just
Yes.
not by
Not
aging.
by aging, not by any mortal disease.
Okay.
Fire
Huh.
is one way. And no, a stake to the heart will not kill us.
Well, it looks like I can cancel my biopsy.
Indeed.
So, alright, we have the masquerade, the keeps us safe, the reason why I am up until moments ago was unaware, but I've been interacting with them for,
Some time now.
I would, well, I assume that
Some of us, it's
insomnia is,
easier to pass than
yes,
others.
well,
Some of
you did
us,
mention those walking
yes.
Max Shreks, so to speak. Is there really Nosferatu?
Yes.
But then, where did the German man get the name if he's not supposed to know?
It's quite possible that there was a Toreador behind writing it, who knows? Dracula, in fact, was behind the push to have his own story written.
Again, head in my hands, and I'm just gonna let out. And I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna put my hands on his shoulders, and I'm gonna look him directly in the eyes and be like, "You're telling me
That Dracula's real. Yes.
what what clan?"
He spawns from a different sect. The Sabbat.
Oh yes, the Sabbat.
They don't adhere to the masquerade like we do. They embrace the beast. That hunger you felt, that is your beast.
It was very different from any hunger I've ever felt before. I
We
almost felt.
we in the Camarilla use our humanity to rein in the beast and keep it at bay. They embrace the beast. There are each clan of the Camarilla has what we call anti-tribu in the Sabbat, but they also have clans of their own. The Zamitsi, who have a disgusting gift of the blood that we call vicissitude. It allows them to craft their flesh, change their appearance at will, take on a form that could only be described as foul,
Worse than the
bestial.
Nosferatu.
Yes. And then there are the Sombra, often referred to as shadows, as they craft the shadow to
Ominous.
their will.
In
They,
a literal sense?
in a literal sense, there is some truth to some of the rumors and folklore. The Lasombra cast no shadow. They cast no reflection. No reflective surface shows them what they look like.
That would tend to create issues, wouldn't it?
And it does.
Well, in any given movie,
Every clan has
that's how
a
someone...
weakness.
Oh.
Ours
Oh,
is our love for beautiful
this is...
things.
This is the catch.
Ours is our love for beautiful things. We can become so enraptured by the beauty of something that we simply lose ourselves and stare at it for hours.
If you had used that trick you used on me a little bit longer, I fear that I might have ended up in that very situation.
Oh, trust me when you see Adelaide. Again now. I have to stop myself every time. There's a certain level of beauty that just enraptures us. And the unfortunate thing is, even a beautiful sunrise could capture our attention.
Oh,
That's
and
why I
that wouldn't...
tend to come in before the sun even begins to get close to coming up.
That is quite smart.
I've watched them from behind the safety of a window that is treated with a ritual cast by the Tremere. Sunlight doesn't come in, but it allows you to watch.
So we can... Oh, this will be great. We'll be like an old married couple who never ages. And we can just sit and drink, well, it wouldn't be coffee, and watch the sunrise. Oh, that is too precious, Atticus.
But yes, every clan has their weakness. The Nosferatu, no matter how beautiful they were in life, in unlife, they are mangled, hideous. They do possess a gift that allows them to subvert this, at least in a normal person's eyes. Someone gifted in our gift aspects can see through it, though. And it does not trick cameras or mirrors.
So, from here, what is my position? What do I do?
For now, you are what we call a fledgling. You are under my accounting. You will learn from me and I will teach you everything I know. Eventually, you will be released from my accounting and considered a neonate. Then, you will find your own way, with me there to guide you, of course. And work your way up. I myself am what is called the Master of Harpies. The
Good.
Harpies are often called gossips.
Oh, you do quite like to gossip, Atticus. You don't.
Now,
You don't let other.
now, I am a
You don't let other.
journalist.
You don't let others see it, but don't think when you say those very, very jabbing remarks under your breath that I don't hear them. I quite appreciate them. In fact, I might even now be able to hear the ones that I couldn't hear before.
Probably. But yes, we can make or break the reputation of someone in a city.
Oh, that does
If,
sound exciting.
oh, it is. If someone angers the Master of the Harpies, well, I can strip their status bare.
Hmm. It seems to not be the only thing that you strip bare quite regularly, Atticus.
He gives him a playful wink and pulls him in against him.
Come now, you've had your fun tonight.
I have. But
You've.
considering that you've tasted my blood, I should tell you about the bond created when you drink another kindred's blood.
Do tell.
Eventually, that bond will get to the point that you would do anything for that person. I don't want to take you to that point.
I see. Removing autonomy.
Yes, and that's not something I would wish on anyone. But what
Why?
I'm going to
Why?
do, considering that you are now one step bound to me, I will do the same. And he takes his hand and kind of kisses his hand and then down to his wrist and looks up at him, kind of, asking permission.
Of course. Anything for you.
And he would sink his teeth into his wrist. And there is that pleasure again. Before
Oh
pulling back
dear.
and licking the wound closed.
What, how, but how? I'm not usually this stammering idiot, but
That
that
could
was
partly be
marvelous.
the bond, but you have
Well,
much to
I more
learn.
so meant the fact that your fangs teeth were in my wrist, and now there's no holes.
Ah, yes. That is something most of us can do. Some are cursed with being unable to do it, but you can instantly close the wound of the kiss so that there is no evidence.
In the spirit of what was it, the masquerade that is, from what I've gathered, very important to us.
It is.
To kindred. How can I feed or kiss the living without violating the masquerade?
Use awe. It's the lowest tier of the powers of what I activated earlier with you.
Will that make them
It'll make them
forget?
pliable, and generally they don't remember once you've fed. The pleasure's just too much. It overwhelms most mortals' minds. We are much more immune to it.
Oh, I see.
We don't lose
Okay.
ourselves as often. It can happen.
Hmm. So,
I do need to take you to meet the prince, though.
oh, that would be.
He just kind of strokes his cheek. It's
Forgive me, I'm
okay.
sorry. I am nervous.
Deep breaths, my dear.
I need to meet a prince.
Yes, the Prince of Orlando. Michael
Prince
Darien.
Michael Darien.
He is a fairly amenable fellow.
Is he as kind as you?
Hardly.
I
He's
don't know.
Tremere, after all.
I assume I'll be able to laugh at that with more understanding eventually.
Yes, eventually.
um, that thing you did, you moved very quickly.
Yes,
Is is that something that?
that is something you will be able to do. You may be able to do a bit of it now.
Well, before
Give it a try.
we okay, and I'm going to attempt to I pick the glass up and run back over. We'll use celerity to move back over to the wine and refill the glass.
You don't move nearly as quickly as Atticus did, but it's much quicker than any human could have moved.
Okay, and then I'm going to come. Actually, sorry. Point of clarity. I'm two glasses, and I'm going to give one to him. Be like, well, seeing is apparently I'm going to meet a prince, and to all things considered, oh god, I suppose somewhat of a toast might be acceptable. I don't know.
Indeed.
Who knows? Look at
Cheers,
me.
darling.
Here's to us and to hopefully many more years of this.
To us. And he will sip on
Yeah,
the wine.
me as well.
Now, would you like to end the scene there? Or would you like to bring in some of the others and do an intro to the prince?
I think that as soon as you said you need to meet the prince, I was like, ooh, there's someone else who needs to meet the prince too.
Okay. I will go let the others know. I will post the link publicly.
Okay. Perfect. That was fun. Thank you.
Indeed. Our scene is not quite over yet, but
Oops.
it's okay. I haven't stopped the recording, but if we bullshit all the time out of character for a little bit anyway.
Fantastic. I was like
So,
nervous. I was like,
totally
in
okay.
character. In character.
Hey.
It's a Christine. Give me a second. We are still recording, but I gotta set up other overlays.
Yeah, I don't know if I should be there. I think I'll just do a black screen so I can just experience what happens. Because I don't think it would be a good idea for me to be in this scene as a character. Right?
I mean, yeah, you messed up a little bit, but the prince is not going to. He is, upset. He is not at the point of get her out of my sight, though. That was pretty much just Conrad because he's the one who feels the strongest about
demon shit.
demons and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could be together with little Emma.
I mean, Emma. Last thing Emma brought the gangrel, so I guess it depends if Jason makes it. But I think
yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah.
I think Jason went to bed though.
Oh, if he went to
Did
bed,
he?
then that's okay. I'm getting other overlays up at the moment. There is still, scene is still going, recording is still going, but
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Bring Emma back.
I mean, it would be weird for Emma to, I guess, because Emma brought the gangrel, so it would be very weird for her to be there without the gangrel.
We can do a flashback scene with that tomorrow.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, TV magic.
I'm working on it.
Atticus is so hot.
Oh, I'm well aware.
Yes.
He is the only one who's going to get his overlay full screen. The other three will have theirs part screen.
Show all the others here.
When we get there, it will be Katya, Darian, and Adelaide.
Okay,
Yeah.
no Conrad. Good.
And then I guess,
Good.
I'm gonna have Arjun there then.
Okay.
What, no friend for me?
She's taking. Oh no. Acquaintance. You can have acquaintance that you fucked. Wasp.
What do you mean twice? What's the first one?
I think twice, wasn't it in the end? No, maybe. Oh no, just once.
I'm officially.
I thought you meant about how many times I fucked up. How many times
Okay,
I fucked
hush.
Yeah,
Hush. Okay. So, Atticus will take Alexander and lead him to the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And take him into the main room. For the most part, it is empty this evening, with the exception of these three people. And unfortunately, Alexander, go ahead and roll self-control for me. when you see Adelaide.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Which actually Atticus has to too, but it's a lower difficulty for him because he's used to it.
Okay.
Wait,
Dash R.
is Chacha back to being blonde, or is that just because it's here?
Oh, oops. No, she's not back to being blonde yet, no.
So is it just self-control?
Yep, just self-control.
jeez.
Difficulty's only 6.
Oh my goodness. I
And-
only have 3.
I think that's all Atticus has as well. Here, I will type
And-
it first.
Well, at least it's just for this and not for frenzy. Because there is where the big shit happens.
Next to
Oof,
the girl,
okay. Yeah, that's 3 successes for Addie.
also next to the girl that says
Oh,
Chacha
Lord.
is this man.
Did I do it? Oh god, I did even worse.
Oh no, Atticus did really well. 3 successes. And you are good as well. You got your 1 success. That's all you need.
Thank god. I'm just
And
going to
since I
like
goofed
lean
up, there we go. That's Kachi's actual overlay for the moment.
lean
and
over
next to
very quietly to Atticus, just be like, "You were right."
He smiles a little bit. Ah, Miss Diamond. He moves over to Alex and takes her hand and kisses it.
Good to see you, Atticus.
I should introduce you. Alexander, come here, darling.
Okay, I'll come over.
Alex, this is my childer.
Oh. Very nice to meet you. I'm
Very,
Alexander Diamond.
very recently embraced, just this
I'm going
evening.
to take her hand
Ooh.
and just kiss it gently and be like, "Alexander White, it's a pleasure to meet you."
Quite the charmer.
Did you think I would choose anyone else?
No, my dear, I didn't have any such doubts.
Stop it, Atticus.
He leans in and kisses his cheek.
Oh, so you're here to present him to the prince?
Yes. I just got my creation rights, and, well, I wasted no time.
Hang on.
Indeed.
How you just got you? How recently?
Yesterday. No, last week.
Oh, well, you really didn't waste any time, did you?
No, I didn't. And he will then move over to Arjun. He knows him briefly, mostly in passing, but... Evening, Arjun.
evening. Congratulations on, well, getting a chowder.
And he would have kind of pulled Alexander along with his arm around his
Mhm.
waist.
Yeah.
And kind of sneakily, when he says welcome, congratulations of getting a chowder, he does kind of squish Couch's hand.
Sad Arjun.
Katya knows, and she just kind of squeezes his hand in return.
And it's as the same as before. I'll shake Arjun's hand. Alexander White, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Arjun Malik. Pleasure to meet you too.
Ah,
Clan Ravnos, you won't
Yeah,
meet too many of us.
yes, that is one thing I forgot to mention. There are independent clans. Arjun comes from one of those. They are called the
So we have.
Ravnos.
Okay, so we have the Camarilla,
Yes.
the Sabat,
Mhm.
and then independent clans. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe I should carry a notebook. I wouldn't be so tacky, but. And then I'll reach to Katya as well, and if she allows me to take her hand, same thing, introduce myself. Alexander White, an absolute pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine, darling. Katya von Essen, Primogen of Clan Tremere, and, well,
Charmed.
I should say Katya has an extremely thick German accent. I cannot do it. I'm not going to try, because it will just end horribly, so we're going to
You're doing
pretend
great with
it's there.
Brennan.
That's
And
an
then-
Irish accent, and those are easier.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, of course, Adelaide.
I.
Your grand
It is a
sire.
pleasure. Even though we have already met, it is still an incredible honor as always, Primogen.
I am
kind of-
thoroughly impressed that my darling Atticus has taught you so well already.
Indeed. You will do well in the Camarilla.
I'm incredibly lucky to have both you and him.
You're too sweet, my dear. Oh, buddy. Come
You
here.
look absolutely marvelous. But
Why, thank
the
you.
question is, when don't you?
Oh, you are a charmer, aren't you? And
I learn from the best and kind of squeeze Atticus.
it is at that point that Atticus kind of gives a small, half bow towards Darian. Prince Darian, I present you with my childer, Alexander White, of Clan Toreador.
And I will bow.
Darian
is a
will stand up and move over and extend a hand. Bed.
Storyteller, does it have a ring on it?
It's way past
Or
bedtime.
is it the
It's
same?
past 8:30.
Okay.
Go on, bed.
Don't do that.
No, I was just gonna kid.
No,
I will.
he does wear a signet ring with the Tremere symbol on it, but he would.
Okay. Yeah, that was off storyteller note. If kissing the ring is really a thing, if it's not, I'm just going to.
Nah.
Does he reach out a hand to shake
It
or?
appears that he wants to shake your hand.
Okay, I'm going to meet his hand and shake it and be like, Prince Darian, it is an honor.
I feel much the same. It seems Atticus has chosen well. You will make an
I appreciate
excellent
that.
addition to the Camarilla.
You are too kind, Prince.
Can you find his bippy? Sorry, baby got kind of fussy.
No worries.
Well, enough of the formalities. Let's have a drink. And he will wave over to the bar. Where you see this man. Shh, it's okay. This is probably the first time he has left Alyssa's side since he came out of Topor. And he brings over a tray that has, for each of them, both a glass of blood and a glass of wine, depending on what they choose to take.
Is it special wine that we can drink or not special wine?
Yes, it is the special house wine that was created using thaumaturgy.
Okay,
So it
then
will both
I
give you
will,
nourishment and taste like wine.
then I will take a glass of wine.
Oh, yeah, Alexander will take two. We're toasting, after all.
I will take. I will. I will look over to Atticus as kind of like a. Is like I'm
Atticus will pick up
Alexander's.
2 glasses of wine and hand one to Alexander.
Okay, perfect. I will take it graciously.
And,
That's what she said.
seriously. Darian will raise his glass to new beginnings. And the other elders and Ansel in the room will also raise their glasses to that.
To new beginnings.
Sorry, I didn't. It cut out. I
No.
didn't hear what the toast was. Sorry.
To new beginnings.
I mean, I assume it would be proper etiquette for me to follow suit.
Indeed.
Yep.
Okay, I will do so.
And Atticus has his arm pretty tightly around you at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just squeeze
It's
back because I'm admittedly nervous.
Bobby's fuzzy.
Yes, Babby is fussy. And with everyone meeting the prince, if no one has any questions, comments, or concerns, I think we can end our scene there for now. Nothing?
Yeah,
I think we're good.
Okay.
I can't think of anything.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene for Unmask Orlando. See you next time.